engine died. I changed out the filters. She won't stay running. Gonna try bleeding the injectors, see if that's it. But I already called for the tow. I'm not quite out at the turn in for the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, so I'm outside of a shipping lanes and about as safe a spot as I can be in. So we'll see. I guess everything's backed up as far as service, especially where I want to go. And it's like 20 after 4 in the morning. I'm just feeling a bit defeated right now, but I feel at least somewhat comfortable knowing that there's help on the way. It's just not enough winds to actually sail, and I don't think I can confidently navigate Norfolk only under sail with having no backup for power. I think it's the right call. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the right call. So, got about another hour and a half, about 2 hours to wait. Just gonna keep an eye on my drift. Hopefully I don't drift at more than a knot, but we'll see. So, after a break, I took a break, went home for some family time over the holidays, so I'm gonna jump back in because we gotta get this engine situation figured out. Yeah. So I'm going over the fuel system. It seems like it might be time to check out the fuel lines. We gotta bleed everything. One thing I have found, so generally there's 2 issues with an engine, from what I'm finding. It's electrical or it's fuel. It's been fuel, so that tells me it still is. I know the tank has been scrubbed. As far as I know, we're still good there, which leads me to believe then that there's something in the lines, or a problem with the high pressure pump perhaps, though I don't think that's necessarily it. So that tells me there's air either still in the system or getting into the system. So let me show you one of the things. So that's the tank right there, back in here. Obviously, first things first, gotta make sure your fuel is shut off. There's gonna be a shut off valve for the fuel tank. Gonna make sure that's shut off. Here, then, I'm sure you've seen it before, is that. Now, what I had noticed, and again, I don't have any, you can check down here, look for water. There's no water, you can bleed that a little bit. But what I did notice is that the hose is split at the end, and it actually is split past the C-clamp. So there's a good chance that there's air getting in. What I've been trying to figure out is why it runs great, like a diesel should, runs better the more it's ran, in a sense, right? Unless there's an issue. First things first is going to be undoing all of the zip tie points that I need to free the line up. This will also be really good because what I can do is I'm going to need to check the... I can actually check the line, make sure there's no debris in it. The other thing I'm going to do is, if you can see the small... This is where you're just tracing your line, right? That's where the fuel starts, right? So I'm actually going to pull this off. This is a pretty small tube, so if I'm doing this, it's kind of one of those, what's the saying? find time to do it right, or else you'll find time to do it again. So I'm going to be pulling this off, checking to make sure there's no gasket material, because I might as well check it from here to here if I'm replacing the hose. So got it pretty much freed up, and I got my oil rags done. You always got to do that to keep the engine compartment clean. So there I am. Yes, coffee. The line, you can see down in there, so that rear compartment was where I was working, back in there. So that fuel line comes over here into there. So that is the line that I'm going to be replacing. Another suggestion, always have Gojo. Alright, got the new fuel hose again. So I needed a quarter and they gave me 5/16, so that was fantastic. So I had to go back and get more. I shouldn't be, so it's just been a long day, and I thought, oh, the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the new fuel line in, and then it just wasn't the right stuff. But it is a nice warm night. Honestly, you can't beat my spot here, you know. You just pop up, got this nice restaurant up there, got the music going out there. Anyway, honestly, who knows? It's smoking considerably less right now than it was, but I don't really know. Let's check it out down here. Seems to be idling alright. Checking down here. Anything there? Parts seem to be alright. I don't know. So I'm dissecting the old lift pump. I have it removed from its position. Where was it? It was there. That was its home. And I have one over here that appears to be new, although the pump itself is kind of stiff. I might, once I dissect this one, I might just compare the two. I mean, at this point, whatever. Although, as I'm kind of looking at it, sorry, I'm trying to keep this as clean as possible. You can see the gunk and buildup in there, but I haven't gotten down to, and here I'm gonna take this part off. I haven't actually checked out the gasket itself. I mean, it actually appears intact. I don't know. What it would look like if it was bad then. Well, I'm gonna play around this a little bit more before I decide whether to put the other one in. So after taking care of like all the fuel concerns so far, there's some gasket material that I want to replace at the fuel tank, but I can get that done pretty quickly. So now, after having ran it, the big thing that we got to do now is what I really have to do now is switch out the thermostat, because if anything, it was taking too long to get to temperature. So that says that the thermostat's sticking open. It took about 2 weeks, but I got the official part. It's over there, so I can't show you. It's a box. Anyway, here's a box. But to change that, a lot of the coolant's going to come out. It's time to change the coolant. It looks like he used a green coolant. Yeah, more about that. So anytime you're switching coolant, yeah, have to flush the system. Can't put red, green, orange with yellow. A lot of people know that, some people don't. Even if it says universal, if it's not already universal, it's still a good idea to flush the system out. Now what that entails is draining all the old coolant, filling the system with water only, distilled water, kind of like you would mix, a pre-dilute. Run it for a while, wait till it comes up to temperature, which in my engine will take a little while, but and then I'm going to drain it and then switch the thermostat. I thought about switching the thermostat first, then doing that bit, but I want to put the fresh thermostat in with the fresh coolant and fresh system, if that makes sense. So no matter what, that needs to be done. So with the Perkins, it calls for Perkins ELC, extended life coolant, specifically designed, yada yada yada. And it looks like it is extremely hard to find. I called all around, even the is it transatlantic diesels, or something like that. Actually, not too far away, just up above like Hampton Roads area, or Newport News, maybe further up the peninsula. Anyway, I called them. They said they use X, Y, and Z. I can't remember. The Perkins boards, and then I kind of came to find out that Haveline XLC, extended life coolant. So this is what I ended up on. Now, I'm trying not to be too concerned with the fact that, it's not specifically designed for, marine use. It's all about the additives. And that's the whole thing about why the extended life coolant, yeah, and this wasn't that much more expensive. So I'm kind of tricking my brain because everybody's saying, the Perkins, it's super expensive for the coolant. Even the Haveline, it's expensive. But it really wasn't. So that, for some reason, that told me, I must be wrong. I got to go find the expensive stuff. So it took me, I've held this project off because I've just been trigger shy. So anyway, I got the XLC Haveline, which Napa carries. It seems like all the advanced auto parts in the area, Walmarts and places like that, don't have the Haveline, but so that's the last part. And while I'm in the system, I'm gonna check out the next video.